What's up, guys? It's Carly with FasciNATIVE English, where if you are finally ready to take your English to another level and to begin speaking English like a native English speaker, then you've come to the right place. So let's get into it. All right, guys, I have another idiom for you all today, and today's idiom is wing it. Again, that is wing it. And wing it just means to do something without proper preparation or time to rehearse, improvise. To do something without proper preparation or time to rehearse, improvise. Wing it. Okay, we say wing it. Just wing it. Or I'm gonna wing it, right? So my example for you all today is when I was teaching at a kindergarten in Korea. This was 2016. Yeah, 2016. I was teaching at a kindergarten in South Korea, in Busan, and I applied for the kindergarten. I didn't know that it was a Canadian school. And actually, I didn't even know it was a Canadian school until I got there.
What kind of place is this?
And started on my first day, and they were like, oh yeah, this is a Canadian school. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, Canadian people speak English and they speak French too. But you know, it was a Canadian school for English. And I'm like, well, Canadians and Americans, we have similar accents. Like, it shouldn't be that big of a difference. Here was the caveat. Okay, here was the difference. We had to do different things the Canadian way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
And I was not used to the Canadian way. I am American, and I didn't know. So there were certain holidays that we had to celebrate that were Canadian holidays, and I didn't know how to celebrate these. I didn't know what to do. So I definitely winged it. And then there were certain things that curriculum wise that I had to do that I never had to do before, but I winged it. And you know, my coworkers, one of them was actually Canadian and the other one was American too. So the American guy, I would talk to him a lot and be like, hey, so what do you do for Canadian Independence Day? And he was like, honestly, I wing it. And I'm like, okay, so tell me how to wing it because I need to wing it too. He's like, yeah, I just Google search, we print out Canadian flags, we color them, we like put them on a chopstick and we wave them in the air, and I like Google Canadian anthem or whatever, we learn it. And I was like, we really do just wing it because the owners of this school, they are Korean and they hire foreigners and they expect us to just know what to do half the time. And that was not the case because you have two employees that are foreigners, yes, but we are American and we're trying to teach Canadian culture. It doesn't make sense, you know? So we had to wing it a lot. And I remember it being Canadian Independence Day. So similar to like the 4th of July here in America, but Canadian Independence Day. And I remember going into class that day and my boss had set it up where the students' parents could come and like celebrate with us too if they wanted to. And my boss was like, hey, can you just give like, I don't know, a 10 to 15 minute presentation to the kids and the parents about Canada and Canadian independence? And she's like, I'll give you like 30 minutes to prepare the presentation. And I'm like,
Excuse me, what?
no, I cannot, because I don't know anything about Canada. I've never even been to Canada. I'm from Florida. I was like freaking out, panic. Panic ensues. And I'm just like, no, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm not Canadian. She's like, it's okay. Just like Google some stuff, wing it. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not prepared. I didn't even know like what Canadian currency looked like. She told me like some things to look up. She was like, oh, picture of the Canadian flag, Canadian currency, the president, like all these different things. Is it a president in Canada? See, I don't even know that.
Aren't you the Prime Minister?
And she was like, you know, a picture of Canada, like the map. And, you know, I know obviously what Canada looks like. I know where it is on the map. But that was the only thing I knew. I kind of knew I know what the flag looks like too. Everything else, I was like, who is the president of Canada or leader? king? I don't even know. You know, now I know it, but I'm like, who is the president of Canada? Or what is the currency in Canada? What does it look like? You know, the Canadian dollar, what does it look like? I was Googling so fast and I was putting together this presentation, and then I'm like, this slideshow is like 5 minutes long tops. Like, it's not going to be 15 minutes. So what do? So I go to my boss and I'm like, okay, I have a picture of the country, I have a picture of the flag, I have a picture of the currency. That's all I have. Those 3 things. And I don't know anything about Canada. I don't even know the capital of Canada. I've never even visited Canada. What do I talk about? Like, you know, she's like, just wing it. It's okay. Like, you got this. You're a people person. You can talk, you know? So the parents come in, they sit down, and we have like these like little maple leaf cookies that we're handing out to everyone. I don't even know if the maple leaf cookies were from Canada, but because they were in the shape of a maple leaf, we were like, here, have a Canadian cookie. And we're passing them out, and I'm making small talk with the parents, trying to kill some time. That's another expression we use. And, you know, finally it comes time for the presentation, and I'm like, here is Canada. Let's play the Canadian national anthem. Oh, Canada, we stand apart for thee. Click play. That wastes a couple minutes of time, right? Because I'm totally winging this right now. So I click play, a couple minutes goes by, and I'm like, yay, the Canadian anthem. That's the first time I ever heard it in my life. A few more minutes go by and I go through the other slides. I'm like, this is the picture of Canada. It's right above America. It's part of North America. Not to be confused with America. So then I'm like, the difference is the United States of America is called the United States of America because it is the United States within North America. But then you also have Alaska and Hawaii. So there's that. And Puerto Rico. So there's that. And then, you know, we have Canada on top of us. And yes, I am American, but I'm teaching you about Canada right now. I was like, you know, using filler words. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. This was totally thrown at me. I didn't know. And then I go and I show the currency and I'm like, this is what the Canadian dollar looks like. We use Canadian dollars in Canada. Yes, I say we, even though I'm not Canadian. They use Canadian dollars in Canada. Then after that, I'm like, you know, this is the president of Canada.
You stupid.
And yes, and the capital of Canada. You know, I go on and it's only like, at the end of it was only like 6 minutes long. So I'm like, hey, you guys, how about those cookies? Who liked the cookies? Raise your hand. And my students were like, yeah, so more cookies. I was like, yeah, more cookies. Let's color. So I had printed out some like, Canadian flags and I'm like, let's color the Canadian flag, you know? So I had them coloring and everything, and the parents were like, oh wow, good job. And I'm like, was it really a good job though? Because I felt like that was the worst presentation I ever gave in my life. I had 0 notice basically, and I don't know anything about Canada. If you're a Canadian and you're watching this, or maybe you've lived in Canada, I apologize. I know a lot about a lot of different countries, but Canada, you're like our next door neighbor, and I have to admit, I don't really know you that well. And I should learn more about Canada. You're right there, but I always learn more. You know, I like to study different countries like far away rather than the ones that are right next to me. I don't know a lot about Mexico either, so there's that. Mexico's right there too, our other neighbor, and I don't know anything about Mexico either. So I need to put that on my list. Study more about Canada, study more about Mexico. I can check it off later. So I hope you guys have a better understanding of the idiom wing it. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video.